Hi everyone, welcome to Clarity for Sure and welcome to Daily ESI and ARD Current Affairs. This is for September month and part 2. So let's start with today's session. Yes. So the first question of today's session says that you have to choose the correct statements regarding the geographical indication tagging, right? So the first statement says that GI tagging protects the product that have unique reputation, quality, and characteristics due to geographical origin. Then once GI is granted, the name can be only used by producers outside the defined region. And third is GI tagging helps the prevent the imitation enhances the market credibility for traditional products, and GI protection is limited only to agriculture commodities. So we have to choose the correct option here. So answer here is B option, which is first and third. Okay, and the second and fourth is wrong here. Why? Second is the second statement is saying that once a GI is granted, the name can be only used by producer outside the defined region. So this is the opposite of how GI works, right? A GI limits use of the name to producers within the delimited geographical area who meet the product specification and are authorized user of it, right? So producers outside the defined region cannot legally use the GI name because the whole point is to protect the geographically linked reputation from being appropriated by outsider, right? So that is why we can say that GI is exclusive to origin, not exclusive to outsiders, right? So then fourth option, GI protection is limited to agriculture commodity. So it is again wrong. Why? Because GI is not limited to only agriculture commodity. It covers a broad set of categories like food items, handicrafts, textiles, manufactured goods with clear origin based reputations. Okay. So like many traditional textiles, crafts, food items, they also have GI registration, right? Then say the silk saris, the tribal jewelry, so and the bamboo crafts. These are non-agriculture items, so they are generally perfectly eligible for the GI protection. So you should think GI as a origin-based branding that applies to anything whose identity depends on a place, particularly on a place, whether it be crops, cuisine, craft, textiles, and more. Okay. So why this question was here? Because recently NABARD has taken step to secure GI tags for Jharkhand traditional products. There were 9 traditional products from the Jharkhand, and here I have listed the 9 products like Athe mutton, sweet tamarind, Biru gamcha, Kochai silk, saris, turmeric, and these all are the products, right? So as we have discussed earlier, the objective is to prevent the imitation, enhance the market credibility, and open the national and global market opportunities for the artisans involved in making these products, right? And how NABARD is involved in these GI tagging process. They are helping in promotion strategy, right? They are providing authorized user enrollment for GI products. They are helping in branding and marketing support. They are giving market linkage and participation in fairs for these artisans. So in this way, the NABARD is taking steps to secure the GI for GI tags products, right? Moving on to the next question. The next question is the statement-based question, which is asking the question regarding the Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan results. We have to choose the correct option here. So the first statement says that Indore secured the first position in the population more than 10 lakh category. Okay, and they were awarded with large scale. They were awarded with Guinness World Record for tree plantation drives. They have large scale public EV transportation, right? Then next was Amravati, ranked first in 3 to 10 lakh population bracket category, and they were recognized for the initiatives of road infrastructure and urban forest development. Then when we have Devas, who has secured top rank in less than 3 lakh population category, and they were credited with shifting industries to cleaner fuels, right? Then fourth option is Agra secured the first position in more than 10 lakh category due to its legacy in waste remediation initiatives. So answer here is option A, which is first, second, and third option only, and the fourth was wrong here. Why? Fourth is incorrect because the Agra did not secure the first rank. Rather, Agra tied with Surat for the third position in the more than 10 lakh category. The more than 10 lakh category was in the more than 10 lakh category, the first position was secured by Indore, as we have said in the first statement itself, right? So, That is why the fourth option was not correct here. So let's see why this question came, because recently Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan awards were given and wetland cities recognition at the wetland cities recognition ceremony. Okay. The most important confusing thing is that the Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan awards are given by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, not by Housing or Urban Affairs, not by Agriculture Ministry. Okay, so that is why most of the students get confused in the Ministry of these awards. So these awards were given under the National Clean Air Program, and they recognize the cities safeguarding the wetlands also. Okay, so this year 130 cities were conducted to promote the competition for improving the air quality. There were multi-tier evaluations mechanism followed with due diligence, and the awards were given into three population category. Or you can say 130 cities. Okay, 130 cities, and sorry, let me clear this. It is very confusing here. Yes. So 130 cities. Okay. 130 cities and three population category. In this way, you can memorize it here. Okay, 1303, right? So let's see who all were the winners. In the category 1, the population were more than 10 lakh. The first position was secured by Indore, then Jabalpur, then Agra and Surat. The Indore, as we have discussed in the first statement itself, in the previous slide, they were awarded with also Guinness record for tree plantation, and they have EV public transport. Then Jabalpur was given award for waste to energy plant, and Agra, as they have legacy of waste remediation, and Surat is for EV policy and green cover. Okay. Then next category was in the bracket of 3 to 10 lakh population. The first position was secured by Amravati for the road infrastructure and urban forest. The second was again tied between Jhansi and Moradabad for their greening and C&D waste management. Then next, Alwar for the legacy waste remediation. And lastly, the category 3, where the population was less than 3 lakh, the first position was achieved by Devas for industries, their industry being shifted to cleaner fuels. Then second, Parvano for their road infrastructure, and last, Angul for the public outreach and C&D waste management. Okay, so in this way, this is very important. You can expect one question because this is annual awards. Okay, so every year these awards are these categories are these awards are given to these cities, so it gets very important to memorize these all things. Okay, so you can expect one question from here, so please be attentive. Okay. So let's move on to third question. The third question says that the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare recently launched India's first high-scale AI-powered monsoon forecasting initiative. Which of the following components is central to achieving the higher accuracy in predicting the monsoon onset, intensity, and progression under this initiative? Okay, so we have to choose the models or software or devices which can be used in achieving the higher accuracy in predicting the monsoon onset. Okay, so first option is use of traditional IMD statistical models like IAM, IMR, WRF. Okay, and then second option, expansion of Doppler weather radars across the India. Then third is Google's neural GCM and ECM WF's AI forecasting system, right? Then we have use of manual field reports from Krishi Vigyan Kendra. Then we have reliance on historical monsoon data only. Okay, so the answer here is option C. Actually, the integration of Google and Google's neural GCM, which is general circulation model, and ECMWF, which is a model generally focused on predicting the high strong winds on the upper layer of troposphere, right? So these are involved in achieving very higher accuracy. Okay, so that is why this is correct. So you can say that these are state of art or learning global level weather prediction models, right? So ministry have combined both these to produce very high resolution long lead monsoon forecasts that can outperform the conventional physics based model. Okay, so they can be helpful in predicting the monsoon onset. Then you can say improved intensity and rainfall distribution estimates, then faster and more accurate updates on intra seasonal monsoon variations, right? And you can also get more stable medium range outlooks like for 2 to 4 weeks, right? So that is why this option was correct. Why other options were not correct? The use of IMD statistical model was not correct because the news, or we can say the question itself, is explicitly states that we are focusing on AI forecast. Okay. And generally, AI forecast is the thing that can outperform the conventional weather models. And whereas the IMR and WR are a physics based model, so they are important, but they are not main innovation here, right? Then the second option, expansion of Doppler weather radars. So these radars are, they are generally focused on nowcasting. Okay, there is forecasting, and then we have nowcasting. Nowcasting means when you, then the monsoon prediction ranges within the 0 to 3 hours. Okay, when the monsoon prediction ranges between 0 to 3 hours, then you say that prediction as nowcasting. So generally, these radars are focused on nowcasting, not seasonal monsoon predictions, right? So the initiative focuses on week ahead forecast, which radars cannot produce. So that is why this option was not correct. Then the D option, use of manual field reports. Why this was not correct? Because field reports help with crop advisory or pest alerts, but not the monsoon prediction, right? So that is why the question, as the question is saying, it is focused on, or which we can say it highlights the AI driven model based forecast, not the manual observation here. Okay, and the last option, reliance on the historical monsoon models. So AI models generally use large data sets, but not historical data as such. Or you can say they are generally predictive in, they require, the AI powered monsoon required predictive skill that, having dynamic monsoon modeling in it, not a statistical average, not any statistical average, right? So that is why it is incorrect here. Okay, so why this question came? Because recently AI powered forecast transforming kharif farming in India was came in news. Okay, so the key highlights of these models are like they are AI based forecasting model, like we have discussed the Google's neural GCM and ECMWF, right, to create very highly accurate monsoon prediction on onset, intensity, and progression, outperforming the conventional weather models. Then we have targeted dissemination. So these forecasting model forecasts are generally centered via the M Kisan platform or app. Okay, so it is very important. Via these platforms, so far 3.8 crore farmers are covered across the 13 states. So they can also help in providing the region specific guidance up to 4 weeks in advance, right? Then we have real time monitoring updates to inform the farmers of mid season variations such as rainfall and time, to help them in timely agricultural interventions, right? Then these models are generally farmer centric in nature, right? So the teams from the Development and Innovation Lab India, the Precision Development, these are involved in these models that can ensure that information was understandable, they are actionable, and they are tailored for the local farming needs. Okay, so in this way the farmers will have the ability to plant the kharif crop efficiently, they will have a strengthened resilience against the climate variability, and it will help India to become a global leader in applying AI for real world agricultural challenges, and it will help the farmers to be informed, to empower themselves on having decisions on sowing, irrigation, and crop management, potentially that can improve the yield and as well as farmer income. Okay, so in this way, this model is a boon for agricultural ecosystem. Next, the question is saying that we have to choose the correct statements again here with reference to millet production and agroclimatic sustainability in India. And the first option says that millets grow best in irrigated Indo-Gangetic plains due to high soil fertility available there. The states like Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh account for more than 80% of millet production, and millets require significantly less water than paddy, making them suitable for semi-arid and semi-arid regions. So answer here is option D actually, second and third. Okay, so first option is, first statement of the fourth question is incorrect here. Okay. So why is it so? Because the, I mean, yes, sorry. So why it is incorrect? Because the Indo-Gangetic Plain, generally they have states like Punjab, Haryana, Bihar, UP, right? Okay. I'm so sorry. Yes. So generally the Indo-Gangetic Plains they involve. So sorry for the background noise. So the Indo-Gangetic plains generally involve the Punjab, Haryana, Bihar, UP plains, right? So generally these areas are well suited for the rice and wheat commodities, and they do have fertile and irrigated and high productivity zone. But for the millets production, generally they are primarily grown in the rain-fed. Okay, the rain-fed. Sorry, the rain-fed. Okay, low input. Okay, low input and marginal land. Okay, rain-fed, low input and marginal land. Okay, so marginal land systems. So so they generally don't require any high fertility irrigated belts, right? And the popular area in where the major cereals grow or perform, there the millets do not perform efficiently. Okay, so that is why the option was first statement was not correct here. Okay, so let's see why this question came. Because recently NITI Aayog report on path through Atmanirbharta in millet came. It released the report's title was Strategies and Pathways for Accelerating Pulses into towards the goal of Atmanirbharta. While the report was focusing on pulses, the report also have had provided key insights which are still applicable for the millets, highlighting the strategies, productivity, and sustainability and self-reliance that can be very helpful for millets production in India. Okay, so here are the current status and trends of millets in India. It is very important for NABARD prelims, so please make note of it. Okay, so globally, our India produces 41% of global millets. Okay, making the world largest producer. The regional spread, if we talk about the regional spread here, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh account for over 80% of production here. So it was correct. Then there is also, we have seen that there is decline in consumption. Per capita millet consumption has dropped 32 kg per year to 4 kg per year today. So generally the replacement was done by the rice and wheat in PDS and diets. Okay. And they were policy recognition was also highlighted in this report, renamed as the millets was renamed as Shri Anna, with funds for research and processing and providing the market linkage for better millets production in India. Okay, so why millet is important? Because they are very good source of nutrition. They can be very helpful in combating the malnutrition and anemia related problems. Okay, then it is very important, or we can say it is one of the important agriculture community which can be used to have a climate resilience, as it requires less than 70% water than rice. So it can be used in very low maintained land like drought prone or arid regions, right? And it also help farmer as it requires very low input, because generally dependence on fertilizer and irrigation, it increases the cost of production for the farmers, right? Then the food security, as it is also well integrated to midday meal and ICDS and public distribution system, so it's very available to all the vulnerable groups. And global positioning is also important, as it is marketed as superfood, and in our India it is marketed as Shri Anna. So it is very important to have branding, boosting, and exports and agri diplomacy for millets to gain a better global position here, right? So these were all the news about the millets. Now the last question of today's session. This question is generally asking you the implementing architecture of DAY-NRLM. Consider the following statements, right? So you have to choose the statement regarding the implementation of this scheme. So the first statement says that program is implemented through three-tier institutional architecture, starting from the SSG at the grassroots. Okay, Then second is SSG federate at village level into village organizations. Then block level federations form CLF, or which you can say local cluster level federation, and block level community for higher level coordination. Then fourth is capacity building, training, hand holding are supported for 3 to 5 years for SSGs to maintain a financial autonomy. And last is the mission implementation is entirely top down with non-participatory process. So you have to choose the correct statement here. So the answer here is option A. One, first, second, third, fourth is correct, and fifth is not correct here. Okay. So why the fifth option is not correct? The fifth option is saying, sorry, the fifth option is saying the implementation is entirely top down with non-participatory process. Okay, so actually what happens, so the NRLM is explicitly, it is designed to be community led and participatory, not top down, or we can say non-participatory, right? So what are the key elements which what are the key elements involved in the proper implementation of DAY-NRLM? You can say that first is social mobilization. It is the very first beginning of this implementation of this scheme, with where the community meetings, trust building, voluntary group formation. These all are focused. Okay, so these are all driven by the local women and the community resource persons, so they are not imposed as targets from the above, or we can say from the top down. Okay, or then next you can say they are demand driven. The NRLMs, or yes, the DAY-NRLM, they have demand driven plans, like the villages and federation, they prepare the plans based on the local needs. Okay, like livelihood portfolios. Okay, enterprise opportunities, these are all planned which will feed into block and district plans. So it is kind of a bottom up planning. Okay, so all the demands are collected at bottom level, then it goes to upper tier. So it is a we can say it is a bottom up planning mechanism, not a top down planning mechanism, right? Then so that is why this option, statement was not correct here, right? So let's see why, and if we say about the first statement here, the first is the program implemented through the three-tier institutional system. The three-tier institutional system means that the generally what happens, no, the livelihoods are they are built by first forming and strengthening the self-help group, okay, at the household level. So it is the first tier. Okay, then you can say that the self-help groups are the basic blocks for the implementation of DNLM. Okay, so when these SSGs have a proper social mobilization, they have collective savings and mutual supports and microfinance linkage. These all happens at grassroots level. So that is why it is one of the grassroots level block for the implementation of NRM, right? So first option was correct here. Then second option, SSG federate at village level into village organization. It was correct again because the multiple SSGs in village come together to form village organization. Okay, sometimes they are called Gram Sangh. Okay, Gram Sangh or cluster in certain state. So these VOs perform functions at individual as perform the functions that individual SSGs cannot perform, like collective decision making, village plan level planning, okay, and management of community investment funds, okay, liaison with the local institution, bulk procurement. So these things are all generally done by the village organization. So that is why the second option was correct here also. The third, block level federation from community level federations or be block level communities. So for the higher level coordination, it was also true here. Why? Because the VOs which we have discussed earlier, village organization, they further federate into cluster level federations or block level committees or communities, and these CLFs link many views across the cluster or block, and they all collectively undertake larger actions. Okay, You can say action as in access to larger capital. Okay, as you are familiar with the revolving fund which are involved in the DAY-NRLM scheme. Okay, then the enterprises promotion. Okay, producer groups, SSG enterprises. All these are involved in this. Then social development programs, convergence with the government schemes. So these are all. I mean, they are all done by the VO model. Institutionalizing the local governance and upward accountability here, right? Then the fourth option was again true here. The capacity building, training, hand holding was given here. So why it was true? Because the NLM they emphasizes an intensive hand holding phase. Okay, by social mobilization, regular meetings, bookkeeping, internal learning. So these are all helping them to have a hand holding phase together. So the framework is in this way. The handholding supports are given, and the years are also correct, the 3 to 5 years for the SSGs to maintain the social, I mean the financial autonomy. Okay, so in this way I have comprehensively covered all the options here. Now let's see better. Uh, I mean, what are the features of this scheme? Okay, so the origin of the scheme was restructured from the Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarajgar Yojana in the 2010, and later it was renamed as DNRLM in 2016, and it is one of the world's largest poverty alleviation program. So its mission, or you can say the core aim, was to reduce the poverty by enabling the sustainable and diversified livelihoods via self-employment, skilled wage, and employment, especially for the women. Okay, so these are the components you can read from here. Okay, like social mobilization, financial inclusion, livelihood promotion, social development, inclusion, and entitlements convergence. Okay, and which beneficiaries are generally focused: rural, poor, like women, SC, STs, small and marginal farmers, landless laborers, person with disabilities also are also considered here, and particularly PVTGs, or we can say vulnerable tribal groups are also focused here. Elderly and ultra poor households are also focused here, right? Then here are the recent updates regarding this scheme is that the states which are top performing in this scheme, like SSG strength and household mobilization, are very frequent in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Andhra Pradesh. Then capitalization support are generally highest in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Okay. Then bank loan facilitations are very high in Andhra Pradesh. Okay. And ecological coverage, or we can say Mahila Kisan, are very prominent in Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh. Okay. And SVP entrepreneurship are very good in Assam, Kerala, and West Bengal. Okay, so these were the things. Then we have the market and value addition support, like national and state Saras Ajika Melas, and NIDR, NIRD, and PR, which are generally conducted for 44 advanced marketing and technology transfer programs in the last 3 years. And this scheme is also entitled to have a linkage with Manrega. Okay, then Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Gramin, Jal Jeevan Mission, PM Kisan, food processing, okay, food processing schemes, then FPO scheme, the KVIC, TriFed, etc. Okay, so the success indicators are generally seen by their strong credit discipline and the community behavioral changes, right? Then monitoring, you can say they are generally four tired, you can say here from here. I mean three, basically three, because the block level is generally it is again segregated to community based, but so it is basically three. So here I have I mean given the more what you can say expand version of block mission management units here. So the first is national mission, national at national level, then state level, the block mission level, then community based organization level, right? Then we have also given you the major achievements as of 2025, like how many crore farmers, 11 lakh crore farmers have been given the formal credit disbursement. Okay, then 4.62 crore women farmers are supported under Mahila Kisan interventions. Okay, then 3.74 lakh enterprises have been supported on the entrepreneurship program SVEP. Okay, then 6,000 integrating graded farming clusters were formed. Okay, then 1.95 lakh producer groups benefiting 50 plus lakh were enrolled in this. Okay, so this was it. Thank you, and we will meet you with the third part of September in, tomorrow. Okay. Thank you.